We left Austria for Nigeria. Do we regret it? People have been asking me this question for long. And I think today I decided to address it. After living in Austria and decided to bring your family back to Nigeria, do you regret it? Will you make the same decision today after 1 year in Nigeria? Will I make the same decision now after 1 year in Nigeria? But first of all, before I answer this question, I will want you guys to know the reason why we came back first. You guys know that I have lived in Austria for almost 21 years. And I have enjoyed all the goodness that abroad can give. To be honest, abroad is a place where you can have peace of mind. Abroad is a place where when you are struggling here in Nigeria, you can always hide yourself without anybody, trying to tell you that you are rich or you are not, before anybody can say you are not doing well. Abroad is a place where if you know what you are doing, you will make it. And abroad is a place where if you are lucky, things will work for you. If you are not, it will also go the other way around. But one thing I understand about abroad is a place where anything you want in life to be, if you work towards it, you have almost 70% success to achieve it. And it's a place that you also have to understand that the rules and regulation works. It depends on the country where you are. But I'm talking about Austria, where I live almost half of my years. But do I regret it? There are so many things that I would say that I am missing right now. I remember the winter, the summer, waking up with my alarm, trying to run, catch the bus. Sometimes I miss the bus and, I'll, try to use taxi, even though when I know that I don't have money to, order Uber or taxi, but I have to do that because I missed my bus because of, I've been sleeping. So those are the things that I missed. I also miss, waking up, on my free day, I have to go and take good to school, walk her to school, and also, after school, I will go and bring her back. So there are so many things I miss. I also miss my friends there. I also miss the language, German, speaking the language every day, and also, I also miss that food. Of course, I miss Austrian food. And I also miss most of my neighbors. But that being said, one thing about abroad is that if it works for you, there will also be a regret, basically because you are coming from another country, especially when you are from Nigeria. And when you are from Nigeria, you always want to go back home. I'm talking about men here. So you always have that mindset that one day you will go back home. That is the problem. That is the challenge I can probably say that I have. And majority of men do have this challenge. It always linger on our head that no matter what we are doing here, whether you are successful or not, that one day you will eventually go back to Nigeria. Now, let me give some instances. We that lives in German-speaking country, most of us, it was difficult there because you came into the country, you have to speak the language, you have to, try to survive because you can't walk because of the language. And there are so many obstacles. And if you say that you want to study, so you have to, give it about 2-3 years for you to have the basic language for you to go on to school. Because of the language, we choose not to go to school, which I think is one of the biggest challenge and the reason why a lot of people are not making it well in German-speaking countries, especially people that comes from Africa, because majority think that going to school, first of all, you have to speak the language, and then you have to take 1, 2, 3 years for you to perfect the language, so that you can be able to go to university or whatever that you want to do. Before you know it, it takes years. Some end up quitting school. Some end up feeling like, no, this is not what I'm here for. They will just enter to go and do those many jobs. So it's difficult, of course. That's why I said it depends on how lucky you are. But I said something, no matter what, even though whether you are successful or you are not, there is that thing that kept lingering on someone's head, especially the men. You want to go back home. So if you are not successful, that is where the challenge comes. You'll be having this nightmare, things are not working for you, and you are still living abroad. Majority, some of them are not even married. They are almost in their 40s, 50s, not yet married, and also not successful. So you ask yourself, how will you survive? What will you tell your people back home? How will you manage? No children, no wife, and you are aging. That is the painful part of abroad. So that's why I said, if you are successful, then you are also in regret, because you want to also go back one day. So that challenging, you also want to make sure that if you go back, you have something to build on. Those are the things that are the problem, or let's say the challenges that we Africans are having while in abroad. In my own case, of course, I decided to move back to Nigeria when things were a little bit okay. It's not that we are rich, it's not that we are that successful, but sometimes in life, it's all about what you want. It's all about our choices. What you want might not be what I want. What I want might not be what you want. But as I said, being a man, will I say I regret coming back to Nigeria? I don't think I regret it. Of course, I know that medically, in Austria, everything is working perfectly. If you are having issue, you can easily walk to your doctor, get a prescription, go to the pharmacy, and then take your medicine. And if it warrants ambulance, call within 5 minutes, it's going to be there. In terms of security, I would say it's perfect, because if anything happens, you call police within 3 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes, police will be there. And in terms of social, when you are not working, you get paid. Your children are getting money, even while they are not citizen. So many things. The advantage is huge. When you lose your house, as far as you are working, or maybe you lose your house, they have places where you can go and apply, and you will get a house. When you are working and your income was low, government will support both rent and the rest. But still, people are still struggling. Even with those incentives, even with all the things that government giving the people are still struggling. Then I asked myself a question. If government is still supporting, if you can walk in to iPhone shop, get an iPhone without paying because you are working. You don't need to pay anything. It's just to show them that you are working. You get iPhone 17. If you want a car, all you need to do is go to the car dealer as far as you are working and your working contract, your income can pay for it. Then you get a car. If you want a house, you just go in and mortgage as far as your income can get it for you. Those are the advantages. But still, people are struggling. But still, people are not happy. When we decided to move back to Nigeria, after having all those incentives in Austria, after all the advantages in Austria, we choose to come back to Nigeria because we believe in Nigeria things are difficult, of course. We don't have those free medical here. We don't have those, if you want a car, you just go in and get a car and then be paying small. If you want a phone, go in, walk in any phone shop, take it, and then you'll be paying small. We don't have those incentives. Security-wise also, there's also a lot of challenges here. But we decided to move back. So why did we move back? That's the question. And my answer is always, we moved back because we understand back in Austria, there are challenges. People have everything, but still, they are not happy. So, in Nigeria, people don't have everything, but still, they are smiling. And then, if in Austria, people have everything, government provide everything for you, even though you don't have it, but still, people are not happy. But in Nigeria, government is not providing. They don't. But people are happy. People are smiling. Even though that things are difficult. So I said, okay, let's come in. After my son, I don't want to share this story again because you guys know the story already. We decided to move back to Nigeria. And we thought it's going to be easy. Being we are moving back to our country. Was it easy? Of course, it was not easy. It was not easy. At first, when we moved back, we were very, very... the concern was, will our children cope? Because Good left this country when she was 6 months. Kaima was 3 years. Chimobi was around 8 years. So Chimobi cannot care. So we were concerned about our children. So when we came in July. So after the long vacation, we got them school. So when they started, we were trying, we got them school. We got school for them. And one thing we said to the teachers was that these children are coming from a German-speaking country. Please, we need their help. We made that clear that even though we are from Nigeria, They speak English. Please, these children are from a German-speaking country where the alphabet is totally different with what we have here in Nigeria. It was a very big challenge for the children. But not the first time, the second time, we saw a massive improvement. That challenge and that concern started waving out. We also have a concern about medical. You guys know how malaria and typhoid is. So we are really concerned about that. We try to make sure that we can prevent it by injection that they took before we move back to Nigeria. So I think that also helped, because till now they haven't gotten any serious sickness since they came in. So that concern was also waving out. Now, another concern was security. So when we came back, or before we came back, we bought a house here in Lekki. And the reason why we bought a house here in Lekki was because we made our findings, and I found out that Lekki is safe. Of course, I understand that Nigeria, people say, yeah, this place is not safe, this place, but there are places that are safe. For the past 1 year that we moved to Lekki here, I have not heard about any serious crime. Now, the only big challenge we have here was water. In Lekki, the water is so bad that since we moved back to Nigeria, we have been cooking with pure water. And up to today, it hasn't changed. Even about 1 month ago, the estate where we are living, the landlord, I think we contributed about 170 or 100 or something thousand each just for us to get a new water system, and which we got. So still, even though that we got a new water system here in the estate, we still refuse to cook with that water. We are still cooking with pure water. So for the past 1 year, you can imagine how much we are spending to get water in the house. So after that also, we have also another challenge. The challenge is light. Electricity is very, very expensive here. Very, very expensive. For you to get light here, you have to pay a lot. You have to pay a lot. That being said, I have said a little bit about the disadvantage in Austria, the advantage in Austria, and disadvantage in Nigeria, advantage in Nigeria. So that comes with now the big question is, do we regret leaving Austria for Nigeria? And the answer is no. Will I do the same decision today? The answer is yes. Now, mind you, that does not mean that Nigeria is better than Austria. That does not mean that if we decide tomorrow that we want to move back to Austria, that we will not do that. That does not mean that people that are still living in Austria don't know what they are doing. No. As I said before, it's all about choices. First of all, our kids, while they were in Austria, they don't know anything about Nigeria. They don't. And I ask myself, if these children don't know anything about my country, Nigeria, if they don't have the taste of that country where they are coming from, how would they know their identity? How will these children tomorrow decide to say, okay, you know what? I want to come back home to build, to help. This is where I'm coming from. So if you don't know your identity, how will you be bold enough to say, this is where I'm coming from? them being here in Nigeria now have opened a lot of doors for them. Now they can understand perfectly well that this is who they are. This is what the culture says. This is what the tradition says. This is what the community is saying. This is what the society is saying. So now they can easily compare Western system and African system. That being said, that does not mean that we are not going to allow them to move back to abroad when they want. But we want them to have the basic understanding of where they are coming from. And I remember, or you guys, that Chimobi went to Austria last month alone. And while he was there, his friends came and picked him up when he landed. And he was enjoying himself. He was playing basketball, he was playing football, he was just doing those things that he was doing while we are still in Austria. In the midst of it, I asked him one question while he was with his friends. I said to him, Chimobi, I know that you will not want to come back to Nigeria. If I ask you to stay back, I know you will take that offer. He said something that shocked me. Not only me. He said something that shocked me and my wife. He said that, no, Daddy, I'm coming back. I'm coming back to Nigeria. My friends are asking me, when am I coming back? I want to be in Nigeria. I want to finish my school in Nigeria. For now, I want to be in Nigeria. That was really shocking for us. But the truth is, that was what we are expecting. And that is what we want. That does not mean that Austria is not good. We just want them to understand the reality of who they are. Even though that things are difficult in this country, but we still want them to understand this is your country. We can also be a helping hand. We can also be part of the people that we are, because very soon we will be gone. These children will take over. Anyways, we left Austria for Nigeria. Do we regret it? The answer is no. Will I do the same decision again? Of course, I will do it. Mind you, as I said, that does not mean that the children will not go back. They will go back. But they need to understand what? They need to understand their identity. And our agreement was they will move. If you are 21, 22, if you want to move, you can move. But you have to be at least 22 years. If today is your first time joining this channel, please don't forget to subscribe and also turn on the notification, because I'll be bringing my experience here in Nigeria. So I have so much to say. On my next episode, I'll be talking about the truth about raising children here in Nigeria versus abroad. Stay tuned, and God bless.